I have always heavily talked about the cross-examination from the very first trial of Karen Read, which happened last spring, summer, where Brian Higgins was questioned about key badging into the Sally Port, not only the night John O'Keefe was unalived, but also the day after when Karen Read's Lexus SUV was brought into the Sally Port. Brian Higgins' excuse for going there around 1:30 in the morning, the night John O'Keefe was unalived, was to move cars in preparation for a snowstorm that everybody knew was coming. And now the defense has access to this footage. This footage is not something we saw in the first trial, and the defense just got it. And it is so sinister to look at, to see Brian Higgins going in and around with his hood up. I'm going to show you guys a still. Here's a still of Brian Higgins entering into or walking through the parking lot of Canton PD. Reminder, Brian Higgins is an ATF agent who was the one who was kind of having a romantic interest in Karen Read, and vice versa. Karen Read was romantically interested in him. And this is John O'Keefe's last phone ID. Like, last time he looked at his phone and opened with his facial recognition was 12:32. This is at 1:30 in the morning. Brian Higgins has an office at Canton PD where he just, decided to go to at 1:30 in the morning to move cars, but then on the security footage never moves a single car. This is the screenshot from the footage that the defense was playing during court, because it shows the time that he got into the Sally Port. It says Sally Port 1:27 in the morning, 1:29/2022. This is, for honorable mention, I had to take this clip because this is Yuri B's face after going through all of that footage, right? There's more footage, but this is his face. A cop that is sitting there like, maybe I fucked up. Like, I don't know if he has that self-awareness, but it does seem like he's quite a bit less arrogant than he was in the first trial. If you guys watched the first trial, you know how arrogant this guy was. And it seems like he's being a lot less arrogant this time around. Well, basically after Alan Jackson called the sidebar in the beginning of the cross-examination, when Yuri wouldn't answer yes or no, he was giving runaround answers to the questions. He really changed his tune. Go check out the testimony from that day of Yuri B, where they're going over all the footage, because it is it's like bone chilling to me to see Brian Higgins on the phone. I wonder who the timestamp of the phone call goes to. It's probably Brian Albert. That's a speculation and a guess, but thinking back on who he called, I'm pretty sure it was him around that time. Not only does it scream like corruption and things like that, this whole case, somebody, and I know it's not as innocent as this, but somebody commented on Emily D. Baker's video and it said, "These are the least curious cops I've ever seen." And I was like, damn, she couldn't have put it any better.